book. It's the spiral run, so it opens up like super nice and has really cool pictures in it. I was just flipping through it. Found that the other day when I was cleaning and organizing my room. I'm trying to get some space set up so that I can get my sewing things pulled out so that I can actually get onto some sewing. So, hi Vicky, hi Darlene. So I ran into Kelly today, and she gave me this eyeglass holder. So I'm officially my grandma. I do love it though, because I've had them right here all day. It's been great. So, what is everybody up to? Ouch! I've got the big fluffy kitty here who keeps snatching my hand up. Look at him. Ace. He's purring up a storm. Big boy. Big floppy boy. Look at this giant fluffy tail. He's a hoot. So, I'm hoping Justin doesn't try to bark the whole time, because I think the turkeys are out there and they want food. And so he's been quiet literally this entire time until just now. Little stinker. I did a bunch of running around the last couple of days, so I haven't really settled in and gotten anything done. And I've kind of just taken a bit of a break because I've just, I don't know, I think there's this new year, like it's a new year, and then you start looking back on what did I get done, or what did I do, and did I meet goals, and we did really well last summer. So last year, I feel like we did really well, but there's still this, I'm not where I feel like I'm supposed to be as far as everything being done. And I honestly just want to have a physical break where I don't do anything. So even working inside here, I'm just like, and I want to sew, and I want to do fun things, and I want to get back to the just crafting and girly stuff, and, you know, those kinds of things, but I have no space. And I honestly think that I have really decided that I am not a tiny house person, because I do so many things. Now, like I have tons of different crafting stuff, and I like to sew a little, and then crochet a little, and then paint stuff a little, and like I like to bounce around to multiple things. Like I don't know, I would, like when I was crocheting, I would crochet one thing and then I would move on to another type of thing. It keeps my brain stimulated. But so I'm not one of those people that just does one thing. Now the crocheting's great because you could do that in a super small space, but sewing and setting up a table to cut everything out, and I've got my patterns, a couple of patterns in. Kira and I want to do more of like a bib overall when we're out working and stuff, and you know, so doing that. I get that need to just do fun things since I've been knee deep in bookkeeping for 2 weeks. Yes, exactly. And so it's just kind of like, I know that I've got stuff that I need to do and finish and work on and whatever, and I'm just like, I just have no drive for it. Hi Bradley, Happy New Year to you too. You know, so I've kind of really been debating. I have 2 things that I've been working on. One is this oven. We're now working on the plugging it into the generator situation. So I've got to change the ends on my 50 amp plug, or at least one of the ends, so that this oven will plug into it. And it's a rotisserie oven. It's like the coolest oven, and it's totally worth, in my opinion, because I love like rotisserie chicken and that kind of stuff. Hi Juanita. And so to have something that I can do a rotisserie chicken on the inside, even if just once a week, that I have to borrow my son's generator, and I turn on the generator and to run that, because it takes a 240 amp to run that stove. To me, it's still very much worth it. Unless I could get the rotisserie for my grill, and then I could run it on the grill, but I'm still using propane, and it's going to take like an hour. But I used to have a rotisserie I had a bigger grill, And I had a rotisserie set up for that, and I loved it, and I used it all the time. So when they reached out about the stove, I was like, yes, but it's kind of been like one hurdle after another with it. So the newest thing is getting this plug set up, and then I've got most of that video edited, and it's just waiting for the end. And then I also have a water purifying system that's going in underneath the sink. So I have those couple of videos that are going out. And then I think I may just take kind of a break for the rest of the month of January, just because I think I have major burnout, which is pretty typical of me, because we work so hard in the short months that we have to work that you're just physically and mentally exhausted when that finishes, and then it takes like this bit of time to reboot, I feel like. I don't know who else has that issue, because I absolutely have that issue. I just want to become a little hermit in the winter time, not really do anything. I've always kind of made that when I craft is in the winter time. Everywhere I've been, that's where I've done it, but I just have no space in here. So I think if somebody was to ask me today, do I regret building this tiny house and doing this tiny house? I would say yes, in the way that I've done it. I had no real choice, because I had no extra money coming in to really build anything. So I had to use what I've got, which was the shipping container. So everything went to storage, and we started this build. I really wanted to do a shed that had a lean-to that the RV could go under, and they were kind of connected. It's just there was no funds to do that, and so we did this. And this has been really difficult. One, because I don't have the welding skills, but hi, is it Rach? You have to tell me your name, honey. I can't. It just says Rach Perez. So, okay. So there's this part of me that is like, I'm not, this is not my forever home. It was just supposed to be something that I could live in while I finished building the barn-dominium, started and finished building the barn-dominium. Mm-hmm. And then I wouldn't have to live in the barn-dominium while it was being worked on and I was, building it. But this has turned into a whole nother circus. So I don't know. There's a part of me that it's like, I really want to finish because I like finishing things. But then there's a whole nother part of me that's like, I'm not real sure what's going to happen with this building when I no longer need it. You know what I mean? So there's that issue. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. It helps. But so I've kind of been having that going on in my head, and and there's just all the things to do, and it really there is no end. Rent. I don't want somebody living this close to me. It would really have to be somebody that I know and that I'm very comfortable with, because I have push this in too fast. I do that all the time. To a senior in need. Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. That is an idea. That's actually a really good idea. I could rent it to a veteran, a disabled veteran. That would work really well. So those are definitely thoughts. The biggest problem that I have is I have one window that I cannot get to stop leaking. So we're going to have to really focus on that this summer, because every time it rains, water just kind of, very small amounts of water just come in. So with a lot of people that used this method, the non-welding method, which was, I did it the exact way that was suggested by a company that actually builds these, and they don't weld. They do these wooden windows. And because the one thing they said about Chloe's got the sneezes, the welding is your cold from the outside comes through the metal onto the inside, and that's a real thing. So the wood framing was better. So that's the reason why I went that route. But it definitely, yeah, I don't really know if I want to be a landlord either. Um, it's a lot. That's a lot. And this is really in what would be considered my backyard for the barndominium. So whoever was renting would be very close to me. So that does take away a privacy aspect of it. Hi, Willis. I'm doing pretty good. I've really had I've been doing some organizing upstairs. It's not really stuff that I've been videoing. But the weather has been so warm. In fact, I woke up to it at 40 degrees today, and I think it got up to, it's 40 degrees right now, and I think it's going to stay in the 40s all night, which is just crazy for this time of year. I'm not complaining. I may be complaining this summer if we're in big drought, like that really may be an issue, because we didn't get enough snow up top. But I think we've gotten like 10 inches of snow all winter long, like combined. That's about all we've gotten up here. We may get, I think my son said he's expecting us to get another little snowstorm like we got this month already, which we ended up getting about the 10 inches of snow, maybe 8 inches of snow in that. And then we're going to start warming up. So we'll have a really long building season. I'm hoping that Kira's coming in March. And so I'm hoping that I can really get some yard cleanup done and stuff like that done before she gets here, so that her and I can just jump into working on some stuff. Our goal for this year is to finish everything that we've already started, to clean up the property really well, clean up under these trees and trim them up. And hi Jody, thank you so much. Happy New Year. I am doing well, thank you. I hope you're doing well too. 41 in Rhode Island. Okay, is that normal for you, Bradley, this time of year? I'm not aware of how the weather runs there. Oh, my generator's gonna die, but that's okay. I kind of kept it low so it would run what it needed and then die. But our real goal for this season is to just finish all the projects. I am starting one of the things that has been, I've wanted to do. So I got my first goats in 2006, and that's when I wanted to start making goat's milk soap. And it just kind of never was able to happen because I just didn't have enough goats for the extra milk and all that stuff. Well, that's why I decided to have 5 goats, because I will definitely have enough milk. Oh, that's okay, Anna. So that I can start my goat's milk soap business. And so that's going to happen this year. Part of the watershed is where, because I need to store them to dry for a specific amount of time. It's 4 to 6 weeks, and then they can be shipped out and used. So, I'm really excited to get to do that this year. It's something that I've put off, of course, this entire time I've been here because I've been trying to build. But this year, I think we've gotten enough stuff set up that I can actually get started on that. Gonna clean up the shop and get that organized and find all of my stuff. And you need your water? You sure? Jasper's here. He's hiding back there. He hung out with me today. So thanks, Jody. Yeah, she said, please like the live chat. It does help. It lets the algorithm know that you guys like it, and then they'll push it a little bit more so more people will see. But so starting the soap business and, really want to get moving towards that. And then hopefully, if that does well, then we'll be able to pump some more money into finishing the shop, because I still really want to get that done. And just finishing up. We got a lot of fencing to redo and do, because there's just not been a lot of fencing. And then the other really big thing that we're working on is the garden. So I'm going to do a lot of herbs, a lot of teas, a lot of medicinal stuff that I may offer up for sale. We're going to build the greenhouse, and so I'll have a place to dry that where it's not in the dust, and can just put some fans in there and circulate the air and get everything dried out. So that's kind of what we're focused. We are taking what's considered a rest year. I mean, we still have work to do, so it's not a full rest year. But I'm really hoping to get the foundation in for the barndominium and get my driveway graveled, so that just all makes life a whole lot easier, is kind of the plan. So you guys really kicked butt over the summer. We did. Thank you. We worked really hard. You know what's funny is Kira and I have always worked really, really well together. Now, I met her when she was 14, and her mom and dad and I were in the military together, for those of you that don't know. And so I met her when she was 14, and she turned 30 this year. So I've known her for 16 years, and she has been my little sidekick like the whole time. She's lived with me multiple different times, and she wants to come back here more in a permanent situation, and it's that will happen when the barndominium's done, and then she'll just fly back and visit her dad, and and we'll have space where he could come up here and visit and all that kind of stuff. And he really likes to hunt and fish, so maybe we could take him fishing and just kind of do all that stuff. But she wants to live here more in a permanent. It's kind of what we've talked, because her and I craft together, and like we do things together, and we're both girls, and we like girly doing things, and so she has been working on her jewelry. She's going to get some of that she wants to sell. And so I'm actually really excited about it, because her and I really do just enjoy each other's company, hanging out. And, it's like she's like a daughter that I never had. And I just have one child. I have one son, and now I have two grandkids, but she's just a hoot. I just love her. She's good people. So that's why I think, so when Kira got here, I had told her, I said, we're going to work half days, 4 hours a day, and we're just going to work our heinies off in those 4 hours, and then the rest of the day we can take off and do whatever you want to do. Like I'm the type of person that I putter around. So even if I'm not actively working on something, and I don't know, I think this is a mom thing too. You sit down and you're like, oh, I can get up and do this, or I can get up and do that, or oh, look, I need to vacuum the carpet, and you'll just kind of get up and do it. And so that type of schedule worked really, really well for us. One, because she was like 4 hours, and we really did. We at the 4 hour mark, it was like, okay, we're done. There were a couple of times that we pulled some really long days, just because we would then take like the next couple of days off. And that was like the barn, when we worked on the barn. We were so sick. We were so sick through a lot of all of that. Building the watershed is when we got the flu, and we were doing the shed and the barn kind of at the same time. And it was just, we were so sick, you guys. It was, I actually went back and watched a couple of videos, because I'm doing a year in review video that I'm putting together. And I'm like, oh, you could hear it in my voice. And we just looked so beat down. It was exhausting. And, but with that type of schedule, and we had the equipment this year. I think that was the big difference, is we really had access to my son's equipment. And so we were able to do a lot of the things that we really haven't been able to do, because we didn't have the equipment. And so that made a huge, huge difference. And He is going to actually level out all the ground. He's come over and helped a little bit here and there, but he said this year he wants to park everything out. So I'll go and trim up the trees that I want, and then we'll mark the trees that we're gonna, if we're gonna pull any down. I really like the amount of trees that I have here in the front, because it actually does get really hot, and it is so nice in the shaded areas. So we're gonna clean all of that up. We've talked about redoing the outhouse in actual framing, and maybe even having like a IBC tote over there, so there's water, so there can be a sink put in and that kind of stuff. I do like having the larger outhouse. It has it's a two-seater that are very private because that has come in handy a couple of times. And so, we're but we may just improve on what's there and finish some things up, and that's kind of the goal. And I definitely, when we pulled everything out of storage and I started looking at stuff, I was like, I can't believe I paid to store this for as long as I did, because there is some stuff in there that is very keepable, but there's other stuff that it's like, I'm not going to need this, and it's just didn't need to come. So we're going to go through that stuff. I'm going to do some heavy sorting and downsizing of all the things and get some shelves up in there. We'll finish the ends. We are putting the actual shower out there and another composting toilet out there. Kira does not want to have the cabin as her room, because so when we built it back behind the house, so it's like in the backyard, and she's like, I just feel all alone out there. So just KJ, just stopping it by to say hi on a break from the game at the moment. Okay, maybe we'll see you later. Vicky said, I think you realize that in just 10 minutes you can finish one small task, which feels great. Yes. So when I get into that funk, as far as I don't want to do anything, I set an alarm for the top of the hour and get up and do something for 15 minutes. And then I give myself 45 minutes to just sit and do nothing. And on those days, I feel like I get way more done. So it's usually a cleaning day. Like that becomes the cleaning day. And I get way more like deep cleaning and organizing done on those days than the days that I'm like, okay, today we're doing this. And then that's all we do. I feel relaxed. I feel like I've watched a bunch of movies and I've hung out and I've had a super relaxing day, but then I actually got a ton of things done. Another thing that is coming up is I now have everything for the elevator. So that's something I get to putter around on. That one's hard because I have to have the ladder to go up and down, but then the ladder gets in the way. And I have to make the hole bigger, so I have to reframe that out and cut some of these joists that are holding up the upstairs. So that's a little scary. I'll need to get a 2x8 to sandwich to put in there before I cut it all out. But yeah, so that hole's got to be expanded a little bit. But yeah, I've got everything for that. So that'll be really exciting to have that done. So yeah, a lot of figuring that out. At the elevator, I think is just going to be so neat. Like it's the coolest thing in my opinion about it. One, Chloe weighs about 40 pounds and I have been hauling her booty up and down this ladder because she sleeps up there with me at night. So I have to haul her up and then I have to bring her down at night in the morning, haul her up at night, down in the morning. And when I had the plantar fasciitis in both feet, my feet hurt so bad and climbing up. But she would just sit down here and have this really sad puppy dog face. And then I was like, I have to get her. She'd be strong like a bull, right? So to not have to do that will be fantastic. But the biggest thing I think that's going to make a huge difference is the fact when I'm down here, the elevator can be up. So that gives us this entire corner to move around in. And so the living room will feel quite a bit more open because there won't just be this big ladder there. And, you know, the living room is 10 by 10, and which is the exact same size as Kira's cabin. Her cabin is a 10 by 10. And this is just small. It's just really small. And so having that extra corner, I think, will be really, really nice. Like I could set up my table and cut out my patterns right here if that wasn't in the way. And there's been quite a few times that has been a, man, if this wasn't in the way, then I could do something right here in this little space. So I am very excited for that to get done. And to be honest, we are having a fairly warm week. I may be able to paint the cage for it, sandblast that and paint that, because we're not supposed to get any rain or anything. It's just supposed to warm up. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be 50 degrees up here. Just crazy for mid-January. I have gone back on carnivore, right? With the elevator up, you'll add another room to your room. Yes. The only thing that I need to find a spot for is Justin's crate, which he loves his crate. If I even took the door off of it, he goes in there and lays down all the time. And I do have to separate the dogs when I feed them. So Chloe goes into her crate and Justin's in his. So I will have to find a spot for that so it's not right there. But it's going to make a huge difference to be able to just the visual of it being opened. The other thing that I'm really, really wanting to get done is you guys wouldn't know it, but I hate clutter. Like I hate clutter. And so I just don't have actual places to put things. And so figuring out that whole aspect of it and getting things organized and put away in their place so that the top of the dresser is cleared off and there's not just stuff stacked everywhere. That's going to be a big focus of this year. Definitely. That's going to be really nice. So, you know, I've got the wiring to finish wiring upstairs, and I got the wires pulled through. So they're now all in the living room, so I can finish enclosing the wall in the kitchen. I've got a couple more wires to pull through in the, I don't know what this is right here in front of me. They're in the middle of the shipping container in front of the glass doors. I got a couple bit wires that need to be pulled through there, but then I could finish the walls and the ceiling inside there. And I think that would make a really big difference too, to get that done. But I also know that just taking a break helps me enjoy it more when I'm doing it. And so that's kind of where my mindset is right now. Just take the break and then you can get really busy again in the spring. And I'm honestly, so I was going to work on my room this winter, but I don't want to sleep down here. I like sleeping up in my room. And so I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get a big tent for this summer, and I'm going to move out into the tent, and so that I can finish the bedroom. I can just pull everything out of there or pull it out onto the deck up top and get that entire room done, and then pull everything back in and be done with that without having to try to live in it again while I'm doing it. Hi, Brenda. Love and enjoy your videos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That warms my heart every time I see your that on my videos. That's lovely. And I love that. Just call that space in front of the glass doors the landing, because you land there coming and going. Yeah, if we were using the glasses or the sliding doors, that absolutely would happen. And I also think I have decided that, and I know that it's not the way that you were supposed to do it, but I'm flipping this door around, the door in that comes into the living room, so that it opens out instead of opens in, because that is obnoxious. It makes it to where the chair the recliner that I use all the time gets hit every time you open the door. So if I make it to where it opens out, then yeah, you'd have to pull it out and step back, but it wouldn't smack whoever is sitting in that chair, which 90% of the time is me. And it makes it also to where I can do a flooring or a rug all the way in to the door. So I think that's going to happen too. And I just don't care that it's an open out versus an open in kind of thing. But I think I'm definitely swapping that around. Um, and I may enclose the little space right before you get to the door. Um, we really haven't done a lot of work on that. The porch right there, like we haven't even really finished the deck. It's just the construction deck is up there. But I may enclose that in as a mud room, so that that again, that stuff isn't being drugged inside all the time. The other thing that we've talked about in my members group is actually building a 10 by 20 living room off the front. And I think with that, I feel like it's a must. Now, if I'm here by myself, I'm pretty fine in this small living room, other than doing my crafts and such. But Kira really is talking about spending more of the winter here. Maybe going back to her dad's for the holidays and then coming back and just kind of being here when all the baby animals are being born, and so that she can help with that. And which is like February is when babies are supposed to be being born. Um, and then also working more on her jewelry and that kind of stuff. And so if we built off of the front and we did a 10 by 20 space, then we could have a huge living room. That for us would be a huge living room. And I could have my sewing stuff out there. I can have, a bigger couch and all of that kind of stuff, and a dining room table, so we could actually have a place to sit and eat, and that would be fantastic. And then I think the other thing we did talk about was turning her cabin into a sewing room, to where all the sewing stuff was out there. And that way, in mid sewing, cats can't get out into it, but mid sewing, if I needed to stop and do something else, I could just shut the door and leave everything as is and not have to put things away because of animals and such. So, I think we're doing that first, because we have decided to basically wear overalls for our work uniform, because they're, it's just pull them on, it's easy, and go and head out. And so I'm going to be sewing us a bunch of overalls, and then some big aprons for gardening and apron dresses and that kind of stuff. I'm just going to sew them. And so I have a baby lock serger, and I have a good sewing machine. I have a couple of good sewing machines, and I miss sewing, so getting to go back into that would be a lot of fun. Craft room with good organization would be nice. Yeah, that would be the key for a 10 by 10, is there would have to be really good organization, but there really could, with a U-shaped situation, be enough with a big U-shaped desk, be enough space for the 3 machines that I have. One of the machines does have a big desk thing with it. It's an industrial sewing machine. It's at my friend's house. That I would need to bring over here, and it's insanely heavy. But it can sew through, it sews really, really fast, and it can sew through anything. So like denim jeans, leather jackets, like all that kind of stuff. It can sew all of that stuff. So, that I would like to just kind of get more into just kind of sewing all of those things. So, I do think that space would work really well, especially if I spent a day and I had everything cut out and prepped, and then it just went in there and was ready to just sew an assembly. I think that would work really well. Craft library shed. Vicky says you'd be surprised how much you would use the 10 by 20 room for crafting. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like I do like to have a TV on as far as for noise. When I'm sewing and such and stuff like that. Even if it's just like a podcast on, or I actually listen to a lot of my Bible study on the TV, and I just turn it on and turn it up, and then I putter around while I'm listening to it, and get like dishes done and that kind of stuff. The other day, I couldn't get my mind to stop whirling, and I just turned it on and I went through like 4 Bible study programs and stuff like that. So that's kind of something that I really like having on. So, this little TV could go out there, and then my bigger TV could come down here, but I was going to put this one up in my room. Anna says, so Vicky says, I had an L-shaped counter in my craft room, one side for the server and the other for the sewing machine. It was awesome. Yeah, I would say an L-shaped or even almost a U-shape would work, because you could make one that's an actual ironing counter. So it has, the ironing board type stuff on it. That would keep that out of the way. But those are the things that we're going to be working on this summer. And we are planning on, in the spring, getting all of the firewood done. So that'll be done before winter even gets here. Serger. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, okay, computer out there, that sounds cool. Sounds legit. So we're gonna get our firewood done really early, and I want at least 4 cords put up. And then we are also helping my son down at his place with firewood stuff, and that he sells. So we'll be helping doing that. And so that, we also have that added on to what we're doing for the day. So the schedule kind of works really well, and we'll be able to kind of have all afternoon and evening off. Now, I will go work in the garden in the evening time because I like doing that, but Kira likes to be done for the day, and then she'll putter around and do her things. So I am really looking forward to an easier year. Like, the barn is up, so now we just have to finish little things on it. The watershed is up. We just have to finish little things on it. The shed is up, but we just have to finish the little things. So those are the things that we're going to be doing. So I am really looking forward to that. And I think hopefully this year we can get out on the lake a little bit more, and with the kayaks, and do more kayaking and kind of just do a little bit more fun stuff. I think we're both ready for that. I think we've worked really hard. And we will have access to the machines again this year. So, and Kira loves that little mini skiddy. Like, she loves bouncing all over the place in that thing. And I like the regular skid steer. I don't really like the mini skiddy. So, we do have to build a chicken coop, an actual coop that they can be put in, attached to the outside of the yard, is what I think is going to end up happening. The chickens are doing really good. I've actually adopted my son's 3 chickens, so they're in there now with my chickens. And I have quite a few roosters, so I'm going to have to be making some decisions about roosters. because I have way more roosters than I do hens. That's bad. So I probably will hatch out some more chickens that are really little, and so they make little eggs. So it takes like 3 of their eggs to make one large size regular egg. So, that means I get 3 times the amount of chickens. That's what that means. So, yeah, that's kind of the route that I think we're taking this year, and I want to get more into the as far as making my videos. I want to improve on the quality of my videos. I mean, I feel like we put out good videos, but I would definitely have come across some things that I really like that I would like to add to it. So I'm going to focus a lot on that too, which hopefully helps us grow, because we've kind of come to this point and then we stopped growing, and I don't really know why. So seriously, if you know anybody that you think would like the channel, would be interested in, if you're in women's groups, if you're involved in women's groups and you think that they would enjoy watching what we're doing up here and supporting us and that kind of stuff, that'd be fantastic to share with them and help us grow that. But compared to all the buildings you did in 2025, the chicken coop will be so easy. Yes. And I really want a pretty chicken coop. Like, I'm thinking wallpaper on the sides, and that's easily washable, wipeable, and that kind of stuff. I think we'll have a poop shelf. It won't have to be really big, because these chickens really do not take up very much space unless I added a whole bunch more. I do want some frizzles, and I wish I was ready, because Anna, not sure how I feel about that. So, like, talking to people out in the world. Wait, what? What are we talking about? But yeah, I'm thinking a really pretty, feminine, maybe pink on the inside and black on the outside. And the black really does help keep it warmer in the winter time. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards, we may have a chandelier in the chicken coop, because I love chandeliers. So I'm on the hunt for some really pretty chandeliers, because I would like to have one in there. I really do enjoy the chickens. They're pretty hilarious. They're pretty funny. We are doing a couple of processing classes up here in the fall. So either I'm kidding. I do always tell people about you. I see what you're talking about. I was like, I wasn't catching on. You are my off-grid bestie in Idaho. Thanks, Anna. So yeah, we are planning on some processing classes. I have a butcher that's coming out here and is going to do some classes. So that is happening. So we got some really fun things. Oh, I've actually made a calendar that I'm going to be putting up for sale. So I'm going to be finishing that up. And I did some really fun pictures that are in that. So if you watch the community posts, I'll be posting when that's done. And I'll probably do a little short video or a video on that calendar. We really are at the point where we need to be making some money, and that has not really been happening. So we really need to be working on some bigger sponsorships, or we're actually get paid and not just a product. That is a real thing too. But we are at that point where it's like, okay, if I'm building a barnuminium, I need some income coming in. Chandeliers in the greenhouse. Yes, wouldn't that be so pretty? I just think that would be so pretty. I also think that I have decided that, so my fireplace in here is for 700 square feet, which I'm at like 530 square feet in my little tiny house. And that wood stove does not keep this place warm. And I think part of it is because it's a metal building. And even though I've insulated and that has helped, it just, when we drop to under 20, I cannot get this place above like 55 or 53. And that's with the propane running. So if the propane's not running, it that wood stove would not keep me warm in really, really cold weather. So I'm going to have to figure. So I think this wood stove is going to go out into the greenhouse, and then I'm going to replace it with one that's a little bit bigger, that could hopefully burn bigger pieces of wood, because that is definitely an issue with it being so small, because it's 11 inches by 8 inches on the inside. I have to cut the wood really small, and if it's a big fat log, it cannot be 10 inches. It has to be 8 inches to fit in there. So that's kind of caused me to have to go out and recut pieces of wood in half. And I did find one that was for 900 square feet that took a 19-inch log. So that would be nice, but it didn't have a glass front, and I really like to watch the fire. So it did have a cook stove on the top, which I really like, which this one does not have. I have to go. Have a great evening. Bye, Judy. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. So I got to figure out the fireplace situation. You know, the one that I had, which was 2,000 square feet, was way too hot. It was 100 degrees in here all the time. And now this one just is not big enough. But it'll be fantastic in the greenhouse, I think. And then we can run it a little bit. Like, we could have fun days where we go sit out there and start the fire up and just kind of hang out there. I mean, I wouldn't be growing anything out there in the wintertime, but I definitely think it would be really fun during a snowstorm to sit out there and watch the snow on the greenhouse. Like, I think that would be fun. So, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I'm undecided about doing a video of what are my real thoughts about container living. I've only seen one video, and that was against container houses. And that was a contractor. It wasn't somebody who actually lived in one, but he did have very valid points, on it. So I think people have, I'm just really surprised that there hasn't been more videos coming out that it is, not in this kind of weather where we have the weather that we have. I could see more where you have a much milder winter that you could actually keep it warm. Like this winter, I haven't had an issue keeping it warm, but I think that it's a valid point. But I'm undecided on, should I make a video about it and talk about it, or should I just who cares, leave it alone? What difference does it make? People are going to do what they're going to do. You know, I did have a couple people tell me you don't want to do that, but I really didn't have any other option. We were way too crowded in the RV, and the RV was getting destroyed. In fact, I think at this point I have to fully gut the RV and completely redo the inside, because we were heating with propane, and it was wet, and moisture issues, and mold is in there now, and there's just all kinds of things going on in there, that I think we're probably going to rip it all the way down to the trailer and then just rebuild a little tiny house on that. And that's something that I could sell. So that's an idea to help go towards the barn dominium build. I do think that I have decided that Kira and I are not building the barn dominium. We can finish out a bunch of stuff after, and like I can do tiling and painting and, you know, flooring even. We can do those things, but I want to have people come in and put up the frame, and then I'll hire somebody to come in and do spray foam. And then we can pull electrical. Like if we have a plan laid out, I can pull electrical and then have an electrician come hook everything up. Those kinds of things, I think we are literally going to do that, because this has been a real physical feat, and I'm just tired, y'all. Oh, Kelly made it. Hey, look, I got my things still on my neck. For the very end of the show. I had chicken wings for dinner. Okay, let's talk dinner. What did everybody have? I had chicken wings for dinner, and I picked those up this morning at Costco. And if you guys did not know, because I did not know this till Kelly told me today, that if you have an executive membership, like I have the black card, that they open the doors at 9 o'clock. So there's an hour before anybody else gets there that people with executive memberships, or I think the elderly, can go in and shop before the crazy crowd. And it was amazing. There was like 30 people in there, and I got in, got the couple of things. I got salmon to if they're frozen, and the chicken wings, and was in and out of there so fast, and it didn't affect my PTSD. Like a lot of times I am worn out by the time I leave there, and I literally come home and sleep for 2 or 3 hours, where this was like no problem. It was so nice. Dawn, you guys had pizza. So I've started back on carnivore, and I am feeling much better. It is definitely helping with the inflammation and all. I'm down 7 pounds already. And I miss pizza so bad. And when normally I get a slice of pizza at Costco, and I was like, okay, Lord, I can't have the pizza. Like, don't make me not want to have the pizza. And in all honesty, I checked out and I left, and I got in the truck, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about pizza. Did you put your new countertop protecting cover things wherever they're called? It got you and your kitchen. Did I put my new countertop protecting cover? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about on the butcher block? Did I do stuff on that? Protecting cover. I don't know, Kelly. I need more information on that. That doesn't make sense to me, so I don't know. But I had the chicken wings, and they were amazing. I deep fried them because I'm allowed to do that. And I freaking love chicken wings. They're so good. The thing I got you for pot holder. Oh no, they're still sitting on in my truck. They're still sitting on the passenger seat of my truck. Because when I came in, I had like a big box of stuff, and I didn't put them in there. It kind of looks like a flower. Yeah, so it's the wooden tree tower thing, and you pull off the little things, and it flattens out, and you can set pans on top, hot pans on top of them, so it doesn't burn your countertops. Really cool. It's really neat. So yeah, I got to bring that in. Yeah, that was the other thing. The sticker and that other thing. I had chicken noodle soup for dinner. Nice, darling. I love chicken noodle soup. I have to admit, there are so many things that I really, really love that you can't have on carnivore. I do think in the summertime we're going to do more keto versus carnivore, but I think that I'll have like carnivore fasting where it's just meat only. I really love pizza, and I've done the carnivore crust. The thing about pizza that I really, really love is actually the bread part of it. That doesn't help you in the kitchen. What doesn't help you in the kitchen? But they do have those carnivore tortillas, and I have made pizzas on those, and those are pretty good. And so the keto ones, I mean, not carnivore. And those were really good. So we may do those. And once I get like all my information, maybe once a month I'll have real pizza because I really like it. Homemade where I can control the ingredients, but um my arthritis in my hands is getting a little bit better, slowly getting a little bit better. And so, I think it's just going to have to be with this RA. It's just going to have to be the lifestyle that I have, and I'm kind of okay with that because I do like steak and I love chicken wings, and I do think that I'm going to have to end up cutting out cheese also, because I do notice um a slowing down of healing the inflammation when I eat cheese. It's not horrible like if I was to eat bread and then I can't hardly move my hands at all. But I'm actually crocheting. I'm back to crocheting and my hands can do it. Now I definitely can't go as long as I used to. Like I could sit and crochet all day long. It's been a few years since I've done that, but um I definitely can't do that. I can get about 3 granny squares out before my hands are like, you're done, girl. You leaving that thing outside in your car. Oh, that doesn't help me in the kitchen. Okay. I get it now. It doesn't, does it? But I didn't need it. So it'll come in tomorrow. Yeah, Anna, I know you've been doing real well and been a super inspiration for me when we've chatted about it. Um, and the inflammation in the swelling of my hands has gone really down. I do have some pain in my probably mostly up here in these joints, but it definitely has helped already. And I'm working on week 2, my second week back into carnivore. Um, Man, I just love food. And it's like I love cooking it. I love preparing it. I love everything about it. And so there is definitely a mindset that you have to get into to take all of those fun things away. But I do think that, like I said, in the summer, when Kira's here, Kira does a little bit better with keto days. Her getting sugar away from her is going to be really hard. Um, Cow. Oh, I wonder if maybe goat cheese would be better for you than cow cheese. It definitely would be. There's a different protein casein in goats and sheep's milk. I am planning on milking my sheep, and I really think that I'm going to be making cheese with the sheep's milk. And butter is supposed to be really good too, but there's a different protein casein in sheep and goat's milk than what's in cow's milk. And it is non-inflammatory and way better and that kind of stuff. So I have made cheese in the past and done that, and I will probably move back into that. Probably more with the sheep's milk versus the goat's milk because I'm doing a lot of I do think that I will make things like cottage cheese and cream cheese out of the goat's milk, but I'm really moving most of my goat's milk into making soap. And Vicky, that's definitely my problem. I love food. I love food. Like I love to snack. I like to sit and, I mean, obviously, I love to sit and snack, and I like cooking it and all those kinds of things. Well, hi, Michael from Green Bay, Wisconsin. How you doing? So yeah, I think I'm gonna move more into the sheep's milk cheeses. It's creamier. It's a lot creamier their milk versus goat's milk. And there won't be a goaty flavor to it as there sometimes is with goat's milk, because I have a buck here. So the other thing that we may be doing, I don't know, he rammed me a couple of times this year. He might be going to freezer camp, but we might be starting over with a different buck. Some of that goat's milk will have to go towards cheese and some to the soap. I think most of the goat's milk is going to soap, and the sheep's milk will be going to cheese and butter, and heavy cream for coffee and that kind of stuff. Um, the sheep's milk was really nice when I had it last year. So I think that's kind of, I'll have the 3 ewes that I get to milk, because that's how many we had bred. There's a possibility that this young ram bred those other girls, so we'll see. It's kind of why we didn't butcher them because I'm like, he might have covered them. So I would be mortified if I butchered a female and she had a baby in there. So toe soap? Wash your toes. So that's kind of where I'm going with all that. So there's going to be a lot. I'm really wanting to, because I think the soap, good Lord, Heather, finish the sentence. I think the soap business is going to fund the rest of my build and that kind of stuff. Everybody that I have talked to or seen or watched that has said that they've gone into making and selling goat's milk soap, it has turned into a full-time business for them. And that is my hope and desire, because that would fund building my dream house, my barn dominium, and it would finish the things on the property that need to be done and get me back into a debt-free situation, which I had been into it for a lot of years, and it was really nice. Anna, you too think this soap will do well. Okay, friends, hit the like button and get your last minute questions in. Thanks, Anna. So yeah, that's kind of the overview for this year. And I don't know if I'm going to do a video on what we're planning on doing. I am going to do a year in review. And I also think that I'm going to do a 5-year in review, like what we've done since we first got here. I think we're going to do that. I think I need that for myself. The hard part is there's a lot of things that we just have not finished, but this last year really made a big difference with Kira and I getting things done. And the barn has been fantastic. The animals have loved it. I'm able to just put a big bale of hay in there and they have free feed. And they all have enough space. And the pigs have the goats let the pigs out. So the pigs are in there too. But we are going to finish the pig area this spring and summer. And so they'll all be moved back into there. So it's a little bit more of a divided situation. But, oh, hi, Ian. How are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming and popping in. But yeah, I think the soap business is going to steer me financially into the space that I want to be in, which has been my hope and desire for a long time. And I just love my goats. And so if they can make soap with their milk, if I can make soap with their milk and pay for them being here, that would be fantastic. I just love them. They're a hot mess. They're like a bunch of 2-3-year-olds. Oh, Chloe bumped us. Do you guys hear Jasper giggling in the background? All right, I gotta take this youngin' back to his house since it's dark and he's not allowed to walk outside in the dark. I'm gonna drive him back home, and he went with me to the dump, so he hung, and we read some of his book for school, and it was a really cute book. He does 30 minutes of reading, and he read to me tonight. It was fantastic. And I just love that so much. But now he's watching shorts and he's just giggling his little head off. So thanks for coming and hang out with me, guys. The lives, like, I don't know, I'm in here by myself, talking to myself, but I'm not. I'm talking to you guys. And it really does make my day. Especially whenever I've been struggling with stuff in my head, which is kind of where I've been the last few days of all of the things. So I hope every one of you have a fantastic night. Bless you. Thank you for supporting me always. And I really, really appreciate it. And if you like more lives, the membership is I think the Pine membership is like $2. And that is the reason why I make any money off of YouTube. And so it's very, very helpful. And I appreciate all of you that are able to do that. And I appreciate all of you that just watch my videos too. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me out with that. If you have any suggestions or maybe a channel that you really like how they do their videos, because I am kind of changing some stuff up. I think we're going more for a vibe versus me trying to teach anybody to do anything. So yeah, thanks you guys. Oh, anyway, every Thursday, even if I take a break off of YouTube for any length of time, I still do members lives Thursday nights. So if you're a member, we do those lives. And I haven't been doing them, but I'm getting back into them where I do a walkabout and just kind of check everything in the morning. When I get up, check all the critters. We have baby goats that are, I have 2 goats that have started bagging up with their milk. So babies will be coming soon. And I'm actually really excited about that because baby goats are so fun. So I'm going to be working on the baby area and getting that set up and a heated. I think I'm going to get one of those diesel heaters that blows warm air in, and so that the babies can have warm air blowing on them. Just in case Heather is a vibe. Thanks, Anna. There's Ace. All right, you guys. I'm going to take this boy back so he can get some dinner. Thank you for hanging out. See you guys later. Bye. Boop. Boop.